When I was attending a doctoral program at Fordham University, I remember attending a discussion panel at which a group of educators were discussing the state of urban education. I remember one specific person, Dr. Kathleen Cashin, making a comment that there's this disconnect between academia and school, and that she was puzzled by the fact that there was this disconnect that wasn't really necessary. Why? And I agree with her 100%. I think I might have exclaimed at that meeting, at the conference, that I'm in agreement with that there's no reason why we shouldn't, the school shouldn't learn from academia. Academia shouldn't go to schools and learn from practitioners. So I remember when I was getting ready to work on my one of my qualifying papers, I needed an advisor. I immediately thought of Dr. Cashin. I requested that she would be my advisor for that particular project. I remember meeting with her for the first time, going over the paper, and discussing various issues. And at some point, out of nowhere, she looked at me. She looked me straight in the eye and said, "You're not used to losing." And I remember at that point being taken aback, like, "Whoa, this lady doesn't know me," and she makes the statement, and I said, "Maybe," and we moved on with our conversation. I finished the paper, submitted the paper. Further in my studies, she became one of the readers for my dissertation. Fast forward maybe a year or two, I remember struggling with a professional decision. I had to make a decision about my future in terms of my career, and the options that I had in front of me none of them really quite spoke with me, and I was really kind of puzzled. And I remember out of nowhere, this thought came to my mind, which was a quote from Dr. Cashin saying to me, maybe, or me saying to myself, maybe I'm just afraid to lose, or maybe I'm not used to losing, and the options that I have, at least one of them, makes me feel like it's a loss of some sort. And at that point, when I made the decision, I was at peace with it. And I remember thinking about Dr. Cashin and thinking how it's a sign, must be a sign of her brilliance to be able to see something in me that I didn't see in myself, that later on came up under a different circumstance. And so this is the story I would like to share about my experience with Dr. Cashin, who really greatly influenced my growth as a professional and educational leader.